Good morning, I'm Maddie Jansen, and this is the podcast of 17 News at Sunrise. It's everything you need to know to start your day in about 15 minutes.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning. Opening statements begin in the trial of Leslie Chance, the former elementary school principal accused of killing her husband. And for years, prosecutors said the apparent motive was money. But ahead on Sunrise, hear the new motive the prosecution is now arguing.
An investigation is underway into how dozens of children were exposed to pepper spray on a local school bus. What we now know as investigations continue.
And we're gearing up for our annual Children's Miracle Network Day of Giving to benefit the Lawrence Small Children's Center at Bakersfield Memorial Hospital. We'll share how you can help this Tuesday morning, December 10th, 2019. Good morning. Glad to have you with us. I'm Tabitha Mills in for Maddie Jansen. Maddie will be back tomorrow, I believe, alongside Alex Fisher. And we are still talking about that fog this morning.
Yeah, right now there are no school delays, but things could change. Let's turn things over to Kevin Charette, who's tracking it all this morning on this very chilly day.
Yeah, we're going to take you out near Rosedale at Mohawk right now, and kind of a carbon copy of what we were seeing yesterday with that fog. So if you're going to be hitting the roadways, just take it easy. Give yourself plenty of time. Take a look at the visibility map, and you can see zero visibility to the north of us up near Tulare, Fresno, and about 1 mile out of Merced. And for Bakersfield, that fog is thickening up. We're at 1 mile visibility right now for Bakersfield and up near Delano. We're at zero, and then if you're heading south towards the Grapevine, it looks like things are pretty good that direction. We do have the dense fog advisory in place again until 11 o'clock this morning, and I think once that fog lifts, it'll kind of lift in that stratus deck once again, and that's why we saw the clouds yesterday. 44 degrees on the temperature right now with a southeast wind at 5, humidity at 93% with a dew point at 42, so the conditions are ripe to see that fog. Here's a look at the hour by hour. Patchy dense fog throughout the morning, 45 degrees to start. We'll be right near 60 this afternoon under mostly cloudy conditions. 32 degrees out of Tehachapi right now, an east-southeast wind at 7. Visibility is good at 10 miles, and as we take a look at the temperatures, starting out in the mid-30s, we will look for the clouds throughout the day, and temperatures expected into the lower 50s with a light wind. We'll talk more weather in just a bit, but first, let's see how the morning commute's going with the fog. We'll send that over to Alex.
All right, thanks so much, Kevin. Actually, things are getting a little bit busy out there for this time of morning. Here's a look at Highway 99 near White Lane, and it looks like our camera's frozen on that side of town, but as you can see, there it goes. It starts to pick up. Not terrible on that side of town with the fog. However, there was a crash earlier this morning, about an hour and a half ago, on Lerdo Highway near Main Drain Road, and CHP says that visibility was less than 100 feet in that area. So keep that in mind if you are headed out that way, especially north of Bakersfield. If you're going up the 99 in that area, it's going to, visibility could reduce the further north you go. Other than that, it is looking pretty good outside, other than the foggy conditions around the county, so keep that in mind if you are traveling today, and we will keep you updated on any other incidents throughout the morning. And we'll have another check coming up in about 15 minutes. When a woman was killed on Highway 99 despite the best efforts of a group of Good Samaritans, the crash happened around 6:15 yesterday. That was on the northbound lanes of the 99 near the I-5 split. Highway Patrol says only one car was involved in the crash. Officers arrived to find the driver pinned between the door and the guardrail, where the woman was being held by Good Samaritans.
So they tried to extricate the party, but were unable to perform medical aid. They were ultimately able to, with the help of some civilians, got the party out, immediately started CPR.
Fire crews arrived and took over CPR, but the woman did die at the scene. No one else was hurt in the crash. The woman's identity has not been released.
In your 17 Court Watch, opening statements yesterday in the trial of Leslie Chance, the former elementary school principal accused of killing her husband back in 2013. For years, prosecutors said the apparent motive was money. But in court yesterday, they added retribution for Todd Chance's alleged affair. 17's Vanessa Dillon was there.
Inside the crowded courtroom of Kern County Superior Court, Judge Charles Bremer, the prosecution and defense laid out their cases for the jury. Arguments that unveiled what could be deemed as a new motive to the 2013 murder of Todd Chance.
I anticipate through the evidence in this case that money was not the underlying reason for the murder of Todd Chance. In fact, I anticipate that you are going to hear that Todd Chance had rekindled a romance, a texting type of romance with his old flame.
Prosecutor to the case and Assistant District Attorney Andrea Kohler spent the beginning of her opening statement telling the jury evidence goes beyond allegations of a rekindled love. Instead, surveillance dispersed throughout the city also connects Chance to her husband's killing on August 25th of 2013. She goes on to suggest Chance's daughter's reaction to the surveillance video points to her mother's guilt.
You're going to hear that when she watched those videos, that she began sobbing uncontrollably, put her head down on the table, and when the detective asked her, "Is that your mother?" she said, "Yes, yes." And then the detective asked her, "Was that your mother in all of the videos that I've shown you?" And her response was yes.
But Chance's attorney, Tony Lidgett, argued circumstantial evidence is not enough to prove Chance's guilt.
There are always two sides to every story.
Lidgett began by saying Chance never left the house the morning of her husband's killing, adding several relatives and close acquaintances couldn't even identify the person in the surveillance video. He also says Chance's ex and the father of her daughter couldn't make a clear connection.
They ask him. He's a CHP officer, or was at the time, or at some point he was a CHP officer. And they ask him, he goes, "I can't tell it's her."
And in concluding his statements, there was still a piece missing to the evidence in its entirety.
The DNA? Wasn't done. We finally put a demand letter just a week ago. Do the DNA. They're now in the process of doing it.
But in the middle of two contrasting arguments sat a quiet Leslie Janae Chance, stoic yet focused on the arguments presented both against and in her favor.
I anticipate when all of that evidence is presented to you, that you will find that the defendant, Leslie Janae Chance, through her actions, prepared a very involved and detailed lesson plan on how to kill her husband, how to murder him.
Proof beyond a reasonable doubt is proof that leaves you with an abiding conviction that the charge is true. And unless the evidence proves Janae guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, she's entitled to acquittal. You must find her not guilty.
The first witness to take the stand was Marcos Vieira, the man who found Todd Chance's body in the almond orchard off Noriega Road and Enos Lane in 2013. The trial is set to last until the end of January.
The highly anticipated Grapevine project is closer to becoming a reality. Today, supervisors will consider approving plans for a large community of businesses and homes near Tejon Ranch. The Board of Supervisors first approved the Grapevine project in December 2016. Now, 3 years later, it will consider approving plans for an 8,000-acre master plan community. The project area is expected to have up to 12,000 homes and around 5.1 million square feet of commercial use. The area would also have schools and parks. The Board of Supervisors meets today at 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. on Truxton Avenue.
New details about the attempted rape in southwest Bakersfield. As we've reported, it happened last week inside a vacant apartment on Meek Avenue. Now we're learning a bit more about what exactly went on that day. Court documents obtained by 17 News say a 50-year-old woman was entering her apartment the morning of December 3rd. That's when 25-year-old Byron Willis grabbed her from behind and groped her breast. When she tried to leave, Willis allegedly placed his hands around the woman's neck and choked her. Then he allegedly tried to remove her pants. The woman eventually kicked Willis in the groin, which let her escape. Willis has pleaded not guilty to charges of attempted rape and false imprisonment with violence. He is next due in court on December 18th.
A desperate search continues this morning for a missing Wasco man. This is a picture of 85-year-old Theodore Harrison. The sheriff's office says he was last seen around 7 o'clock Saturday evening. Harrison has a number of medical conditions and may not have been taking his medication. They believe he is driving a silver 2009 Toyota Camry, California license plate BD362DP. If you've seen Harrison, call 911.
Where will it go?
Yeah, today is your chance to voice your opinion on a proposed homeless shelter right here in Bakersfield. We'll explain coming up.
And we've got fog. We'll show you that outside coming up in just a little bit. How long will it be around? Details straight ahead.
working in the spirit of the Golden Empire. This is 17 News with Maddie Jansen, Alex Fisher, and Kevin Charette with your Pinpoint Doppler forecast. This is 17 News at Sunrise.
Welcome back. Homelessness is an issue we continue to follow closely here at KGET. The city of Bakersfield will host the first of 2 community meetings today to get public feedback on 2 potential emergency homeless shelter sites. Last week, city officials announced they are considering turning a vacant space on Brown and 18th Streets into a 150-bed emergency homeless shelter. That's one of 2 such proposals for a future shelter location. The other proposal, a 450-bed facility on 1900 East Brundage Lane. That is land long occupied by Calcott. Today, the city plans to host a community meeting at Jerusalem Mission Church to discuss the proposals.
The idea is to maybe answer some of those questions that people may have and maybe even dispel some rumors or misunderstandings that they may have about both of these sites as well. The city is committed to addressing the homelessness issue, and so we want to get this taken care of.
The meeting at Jerusalem Mission Church on Cottonwood Road begins at 6 p.m. tonight. The second is set for next Monday at the MLK Community Center on South Owen Street. Everyone is encouraged to attend.
The Delano Police Department held a town hall last night to talk about the community's concerns and share what the department is doing to address them. The biggest concern discussed last night was gang violence. 17's Amber Frias was there and has a recap of the discussion for us this morning.
The one problem on everyone's mind Monday evening?
It's no secret that Delano has a gang problem.
Gang violence, an increasing concern in Delano.
In our city, last year, for example, almost all of our murders, with the exception of one, were related to gangs, and it's been the same thing this year.
During September and October of this year, 4 separate homicides rattled the city, triggering the police department to launch a gun violence response operation.
We put together about 70 officers, and we scoured the community.
And it worked.
Since then, we haven't had any murders. In fact, our shootings have been way down since then, and so we believe that it's had the effect that we wanted it to have.
Along with the launched operation, the department has also been working hard on educating the community about gang violence.
It's important for us to inform our community about what the gang picture is like in our city.
The majority of the meeting was spent teaching the community about a prominent gang in the area, the Norteños.
I don't want anybody in this community to live in fear, and I think that's a big part of it.
Arnold Morrison, a Delano resident, recognizes the city has a gang problem and appreciates the department keeping him informed. He said often he attends these community meetings and hopes others would too.
I think if the more people are informed and the better educated we have our community, I think we can do more for it. I think that a lot of the problems that stem is just a lack of communication simply, and I think that once we have that under our belt and we get more people involved, I think that it's just going to make it better for everybody.
Delano PD also reminds the community that if you have a tip to report, you can call 721-3369. Amber Frias, 17 News.
An investigation is underway into how dozens of children were exposed to pepper spray on a school bus. It happened just before 4 yesterday afternoon on Highway 58 and Mayer Avenue. The County Fire Department says the bus was carrying 51 students from Rio Bravo Greeley Union School District. A dozen complained of burning and itchy skin and difficulty breathing, with one child taken to the hospital.
When the firefighters arrived on scene, they were able to discern that it was not some sort of ag or other form of overspray, but rather it was pepper spray that had been released, whether intentional or accidental, from within inside the school bus.
Dozens of firefighters, hazmat crews, law enforcement, environmental health, and the school district responded to the scene.
Just a reminder, our 17 Days of Christmas toy drive rolls on. We've seen so many people come out and drop off a donation, and your gifts will go to kids and teens at the Bakersfield Homeless Center and Boys and Girls Clubs of Kern County. The toy drive goes on until next Tuesday, December 17th. You can drop off new, unwrapped gifts to our lobby in downtown Bakersfield, or go to the Bakersfield Homeless Center on East Truxton Avenue, or the Boys and Girls Club on Niles Street. We hope you can help us out there.
All right, well, still to come this morning on Sunrise, we got another recall alert to tell you about, and it's going to mean checking your freezers.
That's right. White Castle is recalling some of its burgers. How you can tell if yours need to get thrown out just ahead.
KGET Business Watch is brought to you by Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
Welcome back. It may be time to bid farewell to Apple's Lightning charging cable. Analysts say the company could get rid of the charging cable and port on premium models in 2021. That means your new iPhone would require a wireless charging dock, which Apple already makes for its later model iPhones. If the company does end up getting rid of the charging port and cable, that would join the long list of other things Apple has nixed, from the floppy disk drive in '98 to the most recent USB port and headphone jack. Apple has not confirmed the speculations. If you have White Castle burgers in your freezer, you need to know they may be subject to a recall. White Castle issued the voluntary recall because the burgers may be contaminated with listeria. Frozen 6-pack cheeseburgers, frozen 6-pack hamburgers, and frozen 6-pack jalapeno cheeseburgers, and 16-pack hamburgers and cheeseburgers are part of the recall. They all have best buy dates ranging from August 4th, 2020 to August 17th, 2020. So far, no illnesses are associated with consuming this product.